Did you know that Wizards had signed off to make a Netflix series based on Magic the Gathering? Did you know I asked you a question to get you to think and to watch this video longer and hopefully turn you into my zombie? The show had been dead in the water for a period of time, despite having the Russo brothers, seen here thinking about how little money they could make from us, set up to run the project. Well, those bums are out, and Terry Metalis is large and in charge. Here he is in the fattest version I could find on the internet to make that larger than charge joke work, but I'm bigger than this guy and he's just got turtleneck disease. Terry is known for his great work on the Star Trek Picard series and some monkey business. Terry's also added on Patrick Osborne, who's quite the accomplished animator. Patrick went to school specifically to learn computer animation, came out of college writing to feature films, and eventually worked for Disney, winning a few Academy Awards along the way. So we got a new lineup ready on the front end. What about the guys who had already started working on the original version of the show? Well, in between the Russos and Terry was a man by the name of Jeff Klein. I don't think Jeff is working on this anymore, but none of the announcements really say that he isn't. So Jeff Klein, if you're still alive and working on an MTG animated series, just let me know in the comments. Apparently, production had gotten far enough that Brandon Routh was hired to voice Gideon, and he admits he went in to do the recording. No announcement has been made if he's still a part of the project or if he's not. We just don't know yet. This kind of turnover has me speculate on how much money is spent during these periods where a big name is signed to a project and then nothing ever happens. Did the Russo brothers collect a check, come in, start doing background research, and then get bored? That sounds like an infinitely better business model than actually making content and having people judge you for it. That's probably also why we aren't ever going to get Words of Winter. That doesn't sound like Hasbro's business model though. If there isn't a guaranteed check for them, they wouldn't be in this. So I suspect this floundering around is on Netflix's end, and Wizards is collecting those licensing fees. Well, enough about corporate politics. Let's talk about what's actually going to happen in the show. The assumption is that the show will focus on Chandra and on Johnny Goldmane. These are the two characters that have been named as far back as the Russo Brothers announcements, and we're still here in the silhouette with the most recent reveal. They were also both introduced with the Lorwyn set. Although I think Chandra's adventures have eclipsed the Johnny's contributions overall, they should still be popular enough to draw an audience. They both also have gotten some cards recently, with Chandra being in the most recent set Aether Drift and a Johnny in Foundations. We also know that Wizards has recently gone on record to say that with more Universes Beyond sets becoming standard sets and replacing sets that would move the Magic story forward, that we would receive more lore-based media outside of traditional spaces, specifically name-dropping Netflix and this upcoming series. So it sounds like the team at Wizards has prepped a place for this to head off into, instead of just being a retelling of what's already happened. That's probably the next big thing to debate about. Is this show going to start as a retelling of what's happened in Magic since Lorwyn, or will it tell a new story and try to engage a new audience plus current players? This show might even deviate hard from what's going on in Magic right now. I'm completely okay with a lore-only reboot of sorts where the team can iron out anything they've changed their mind on, or add characters to different stories that are left out of, because they have a limit of how many Planeswalkers can be in each set. Sometimes the character's absence has definitely only been because there wasn't room for their card in the set, and not because the team didn't want to include them in that story. There's also parity in this space, with Riot's show Arcane doing exceedingly well. It's very possible that the decision to include a true animator like Patrick Osborne is to create something more like Arcane and less like a World of Warcraft movie that focused on graphics and lacked on story. I think fans are still more than willing to give up graphic realism for scenes that work properly, without the effort level of creating all that CGI. And what I mean is, action scenes can definitely have special moves or complicated motions removed just because of the time it takes to create those in CGI while maintaining realism. So playing this series on high instead of ultra might be the way to go. And I think that's enough rambling about this show so far when we don't really know enough yet to form concrete opinions. It's just been bouncing around in my head and I wanted to talk to someone about it. So thanks for watching everyone. Take care.